Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report.
Who's the seconder? Who is the seconder? Senator Joyce?
Yeah, I call upon Senator Chute to second.
I beg to second, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Chute. I propose the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I put the question that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As many as are of that opinion say aye. As many as are of contrary opinion say nay. The ayes have it. And I want to invite the mover to move the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move that the County Libraries Bill, Senate Bill number 40 of 2024, be now read at that time.
Who is the seconder?
I ask Honorable Kinyua to second.
Madam Chair, I second.
Thank you, Senator Kinyua. I propose the question that the County Library Services Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2024, be now read at that time. I put the question that the County Library Services Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2024, be now read at that time. It's now time for division. Honorable Senators, we are now proceeding to division, so I will request you to log out and log back in, ready to move to the division part. We are voting electronically. The county, but because this division now is different. Are we moving to this division on the county library? Yes, because this is different. We have done the third reading. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. So. Honorable Senators, I put the question that the County Library Services Bill, Senate Bills number 40 of 2024, be now read at that time, and you may proceed to vote. assistance in voting, assisted voter, Bomet County. Honorable Senators, these are the results of that division. Ayes 29, nays 0, abstention 0. The ayes have it.
A bill for an act of parliament to provide for the establishment of county libraries in each county, the establishment of a county library development committee in each county, the functions and powers of each county library development committee, and for connected purposes.
That's the end of that division, so you can do the bars and open the doors. We can go back to the normal sequencing of the order paper, so I'll request the clerk to call out order number 5 on papers, Majority Leader.
Order number 5, papers. Mr. Speaker, sir. Oh, sorry.
I hope I don't look like
No.
sir.
You're too beautiful.
Thank you for the compliment.
Thank you. Madam Speaker, I beg to lay the following papers on the table of the Senate today, Wednesday, the 25th of February, 2026. This is a report of the Office of the Controller of Budget on the National Government Budget Implementation Review for the first 3 months for the financial year 2025-2026. Reports of the Auditor General laid pursuant to Senate ended 30th June 2025 on Biwasco Water and Sewerage Public Land Company, Lysamis Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Marsabit, Isiolo Water and Sewerage Company, Isiolo Municipality, Gatundu Level 4 Hospital in Kiambu, Kianda 42 Level 4 Hospital in Nairobi, Kayole 2 Sub-County Level 4 Hospital in Nairobi, Makadara Level 4, Mama Lucy Kibaki Level 5 Hospital, County Government of Nairobi, Bahati Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Nairobi, Bahati Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Nairobi, Bumula B Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Busia, Nambale Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Busia, Cheptai Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Bungoma, Moyale Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Marsabit, Equalization Fund, County Government of Marsabit, Rumuruti Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Laikipia, Dindika Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Laikipia, Isiolo County Assembly Mortgage and Car Loan Scheme Fund, Equalization Fund, County Government of Samburu, Bumula Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Bungoma, Nyeri County Climate Change Fund, Turkana County Rural Water Services Public Limited, Lokitwang Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Turkana, Kitale County Referral Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Trans Nzoia, Magutuni Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Tharaka Nithi, Kericho County Executive Staff Car Loan Fund, Meru County Climate Change Fund, Kieni Water and Sewerage Company, Danai Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Bomet, Ishiara Sub-County Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Embu, Kericho County Agricultural Development Fund, Kapkatet Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Kericho, Kericho County Emergency Fund, Kericho County Bursary Fund, Kajiado County Equalization Fund, Kilifi County Assembly Mortgage Scheme Fund, Mavoko Water and Sanitation Company, Nakuru Water and Sanitation Services Company Limited, Municipal Council of Machakos Water and Sewerage Company Limited, Homa Bay County Teaching and Referral Hospital, County Government of Homa Bay, Wajir County Revolving Fund, Mandera Municipality, County Government of Mandera, Kirinyaga County Climate Change Fund, Kirinyaga County Education Bursary Fund, Karatina Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Nyeri, Kirinyaga County Emergency Fund, Trans Nzoia County Nawiri Fund, Mtito Andei Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Makueni, Dadaab Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Garissa, Elwak Water and Sewerage Company, Habaswein Sub-County Level 4 Hospital in Wajir, Equalization Fund, County Government of Mandera, Baringo County Youth and Women, Demonstration Farm Fund in Kisii, Wajir Water and Sewerage Company, Tabaka Sub-County Referral Hospital in Mandera, Gusii Water and Sewer and Sanitation Company, Kwale Water and Sewerage Company Limited, Kenya Medical Research Institute, Sibo Water and Sanitation Company Limited, Kilifi County Assembly Members Mortgage and Car Loan Scheme Fund, Baringo County Micro and Small Enterprise Fund, Kitui County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Fund for 15 months period ended 30th June 2025, Kadhiani Water and Sanitation Company Fund, Nakuru County Enterprise Fund, Mama Rachel Ruto Maternity Hospital, County Government of Uasin Gishu, Wamba Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Samburu, Elgeyo Marakwet County Assembly Revolving Fund, Ongata Rongai Sub-County Hospital, County Government of Kajiado, Nanyuki Water and Sanitation Company, Kakamega County Assembly Loans Fund, Iten Tambach Water and Sewerage Company Limited, Tana Athi Water Development Agency, Dithini Level 4 Hospital, Machakos County Government, Cherangani Marakwet and Water and Sanitation Company, Nandi County Assembly Scheme Fund, Uasin Gishu District Hospital, County Government of Uasin Gishu, Nanyuki Teaching and Referral Hospital, Laikipia County Government, Equalization Fund, Laikipia County, Kapsabet Municipality, Nandi County Government, Kapsabet Nandi Water and Sanitation Company, Rukanga Water and Sanitation Company Limited, Kirinyaga County Agricultural Institutions Revolving Fund, Nyandarua County Emergency Fund, Nyeri County Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Scheme Fund, Matungulu Kangundo Water and Sewerage Company Fund, Ololeza Water and Sewage Company Fund, Kirinyaga County Alcohol Drink Substance Abuse, Muranga Level 4 Hospital, County Government of Muranga, Mukuruene Sub-County Level 4 Hospital in Nyeri, Narumoru Water and Sanitation Company Limited. I thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Majority Leader, for that. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion. Order number 7, questions and statements.
Honorable Senators, we are reorganizing the order paper and deferring all the statements to come up again tomorrow in the afternoon session. So I'll ask the clerk to call the next order. Please call order number 25 on the culture bill.
Order number 25, the Culture Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2024, second reading. Resumption of debate.
Majority Leader, you had a remainder of 52 minutes. I hope you do not intend to use all of them.
No, I had actually finished.
Share them
Madam
with the
Speaker.
seconder.
I had actually finished making my comments on this particular bill. It's a very important bill, Madam Speaker. I said any society that cannot trace its roots somewhere is a lost society. Many of the challenges we see, including in the first world, by the way, Madam Speaker, some of these people that you see struggle with identity crisis, and I know, besides being a lawyer, you're a psychologist as well, and you understand some of these things. You see people who struggle with culture. It shows off, despite the level of education, despite wealth. Many of them, if you meet and interact with them, you can see that there's a longing to connect with somewhere. That's the beauty of culture, Madam Speaker. And that's why the drafters of our Constitution included culture and cultural rights as part of the social rights under the Bill of Rights in Chapter 11 of our Constitution, Madam Speaker. And this piece of legislation is intended to ensure that we find ways, Madam Speaker, of giving life to those provisions of our Constitution by ensuring that we guide appropriately on what needs to be done in that regard. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I want to appreciate this opportunity to move this bill. I know many members will have opportunity to say something, or if they don't, nonetheless, they will have done their bit. With those many remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to move and request the Senator for Nandi, the indefatigable warrior, Senator Samson Kiprotich Cherargei, Madam Speaker, to second.
Senator Samson Cherargei, you have earned yourself a title of indefatigable warrior. I hope warrior in a good sense. Devolution warrior.
I'm the devolution warrior. And I am seeing, I need to, if you have seen the majority leader has acknowledged, as I second the bill, then I might also be a majority leader or a bigger person in future. So, Madam Speaker, thank you. Madam Speaker, as I second this bill, because there is no culture legal framework that has put in place, and I think this is a straightforward bill. Madam Speaker, we have identity, our culture. The culture defines who we are. It's a set of values, it's a set of moral issues, Madam Speaker, and the definition, the lifestyle, social interactions, social group, its value systems, traditions, beliefs, language, ideas, customs, code, institutions, works of art, rituals, and ceremonies, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, you remember the other day, and I'm happy that the distinguished senator of Kakamega is here with us. Because when I was thinking of seconding this bill, the culture bill, I remember when, unfortunately, my condolences, unfortunately, we lost the former MB of Lugari, Honorable Cyrus Jirongo. I had to follow online the distinguished senator of Kakamega performing serious ceremony as he went to view the body of the late Honorable Cyrus Jirongo. And I was amazed by the unique culture of the Luhya nation, the Mulembe nation. I saw him taking bulls, celebrating. You know, I was amazed on how Senator Kalwal was able, Madam Speaker, to do it. And I don't know whether, Madam Speaker, you had opportunity of watching. I had to watch the whole of it. And that is, this was a doctor. But because of cultural beliefs, he was shaped by the culture. He's proud. There are people who, when they become professors, they wear suits, they wear nice clothes, they want to behave like the Europeans and the Wazungus. But I am happy that the identity and the culture that Senator Boni Khalwale displayed that day was very unique, and it taught some of us the value and the role of the culture, Madam Speaker. And I hope, because under fourth schedule, Madam Speaker, one of the roles of county governments under the fourth schedule is cultural activities. And I hope as Senator Khalwale becomes the governor of Kakamega, he should be able to anchor the role of cultural activities within the Mulembe Nation and Kakamega. We don't want to see people, Madam Speaker, you know, these functions of our people, the culture, is dependent on the handouts, is dependent on politics. We want, when he has a bullfighting in Malinya, Madam Speaker, in Malinya, in Kakamega, that should be owned and funded by the taxpayers, because it is our identity. Why should it depend on the goodwill of individuals? I hope that is the bullfighting. We have seen even in Vihiga, Madam Speaker, those ceremonies being done. Madam Speaker, you remember even when we lost Kijana Wamalwa and many other aspects, Madam Speaker, you could see. I think the funeral ceremony shows more. And Madam Speaker, you are aware we also lost the former Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. We still condole with the family, and we know this is the leader that we have ever had. And you know, many people visited Jaramogi, Kakango. And even us, as a community, we had to take cows to celebrate or to mourn with the family, Madam Speaker. And we were told, and I know I met the Mulembe Nation. I don't know, I saw Senator Khalwale came after to condole with the family. And when we were told, Madam Speaker, to take the cows or the cattle to mourn, we were supposed to go chanting, saying, Joey, 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 Madam Speaker. So we had to, and a spear, Madam Speaker, and some regalia. And we were told that is Teroburu or something, Madam Speaker. We were doing that. I don't know, I know Senator Khalwale is an expert. And I hope, Madam Speaker, it is possible in our standing orders to amend and use, instead of debating, we use even a show, or we dramatize. This bill would be better explained by the Senator of Kakamega. We would have allowed him to perform what he just performed a few months ago so that we can understand. But I'm saying, even in my culture, whenever young people are going to the
Are you sure you want that torch he was holding to come to the Senate? Anyway, proceed.
But I'm saying, but my only worry is that I never knew there is a culture who had known a torch. You know, that's the only thing I wanted to ask Senator Khalwale, is that I have not had time to sit with him. But by the time, Madam Speaker, if I'm not wrong, Senator Khalwale, through the Speaker, I thought that torch is now off. Is it off with some individuals? Maybe he will tell us when he will be supporting the bill. Because he was carrying the torch, and he said he was exposing the killer. So I hope, or the torch is still on. I'm told by the time it switches off with individuals who might have committed that offense, Madam Speaker. Even in my culture, Madam Speaker, we have initiation ceremonies, we have weddings, we have rituals, Madam Speaker. You have seen in our cultures, whenever somebody loses or in some sense you steal, Madam Speaker, you have seen even in areas where somebody steals and there are some rituals performed, people are killed, there are rituals that are performed. These are part and culture of our society, even as we have elaborate. I think all the African cultures have elaborate. To be a man in my culture, you have to have gone to the ceremony of the home or the traditional initiation ceremony. There are stages, life stages of a man. When you are, or a woman, when you are being born, Madam Speaker, there is a stage, you are given a name, identity, which is recognized by the Constitution. There are process that is performed. We have mixed Christianity or religion with culture, Madam Speaker, and you are aware. Because when we are being born in the villages, my name essentially, for example, means, my real name, Kiprotich, means that I was born in the evening, like now when the cows were being brought home. So everything, and one of your clerks, Cherop, was born when it is rainy season like this. So it has a meaning. It has a particular meaning. And I think all names, even where you come from, although it's more matriarchal society, House of Mumbi, nyumba ya Mumbi, Andua Itu, nyumba ya Mumbi, the famous Mount Kenya, they are associated. When you go to Western, they have elaborate ways, and that one is developing. Madam Speaker, and I think, Madam Speaker, as I go to the fourth point, because I have only 6 points, is that I think the African values and cultures were very good. Because one, when you go through initiation ceremony, you are taught how to be responsible, especially in my culture. How to be a man, how to take care of a home, how to take care of cows, how to behave decently, how to be respectful. In fact, in my culture, respect is equated to many things, and quote unquote, Madam Speaker, respect is equated to a cow because it symbolizes life, Madam Speaker. They quote unquote, that is what they normally say, Madam Speaker. To translate loosely, respect is equal to a cow, which is a symbol of respect and life. So essentially, those values. Now we are being told we are Western. You know, you could not see even, Madam Speaker, even this culture that come upon, like, for example, what we are seeing, LGBTQ, the issue of gayism, the issue of lesbianism, Madam Speaker, it was never there in our culture. Because as we respect sanctity of life, Madam Speaker, we know family, and I'm happy this constitution says family is between a man and a woman. The degeneration of values of society is courtesy that we have imported too much on the Western culture, beliefs, and ideas and values until we have thrown away. That is why you are seeing issues that we have never seen. And I agree with President Museveni, because he asked a question: if you are gay, if there is a proof that you can come up with life, then he will allow gayism in Uganda. You have shown a West Africa country, or was it Senegal, that they have now introduced 10 years. These are alien values that were never there, Madam Speaker. Because how can a man leave beautiful ladies and girls and women and go for another man, which we have never? It is not part of the culture that we are talking about, Madam Speaker. So counties also, we must call. I don't want when the people of Mount Kenya, I've read the book Facing Mount Kenya, and I was reading the book, It's Our Turn to Eat by John Kitongo. There's another one, Facing Mount Kenya, Madam Speaker. We want, when the House of Mumbi wants to meet, there is a legal framework, they can engage, we can ensure the values are protected, Madam Speaker. I hope one day we will have a library that the children of House of Mumbi can go and study about the Kikuyu. Can go to Koitalel, Madam Speaker, you are aware. We have Koitalel Mausoleum in Nandi Hills town, Nandi County. My people of Nandi can go and study the values, the beliefs, the ceremonies, the rituals that the people of Nandi believed in. Equally to other Kalenjin sub-tribes, equally to the Mulembe Nation, the Luyas, Madam Speaker, they can go and study what do they believe in. And when you look clearly at those value system of our communities, Madam Speaker, you will be surprised that there are more order. There was order age group. Madam Speaker, even in my culture, there is age sets. Madam Speaker, for example, me, I'm an age set of Kimnyike. The president is an age set of Kablelachek, which initiated some of us. There is my father age group is called, the name is disappearing, Kablelach. There is also the Kimnyike. So that is said, ensure there is respect. And that is why whenever we engage, you cannot go beyond your elder in terms of the age set. And I think also the Mulembe Nation, the Akikuyu, among other communities, even to the coastal communities, even northern part, Madam Speaker. So this issue of culture, we need also to recognize the role of cultural persons, the custodians. Madam Speaker, we struggle. When wazee, old men and women, who are the custodian of culture, and I'm happy, I think Meru have a very elaborate Njurinjeke, the Kikuyu, Andua Nyumbaitu, they have also a house of elders or house, people who are custodians of the practitioner of the traditions. When you go to Western Mulembe Nation, they have also their leaders. When you go to, in fact, in Northern Kenya, it is interesting. They are the ones who decide who becomes a leader in that particular community. Even in my culture, there is Miot Council of Elders. Those Kalenjin, the law recognizes that them are called cultural practitioners. So that, Madam Speaker, we also, these people also, some of them are professional, some of them participate in circumcision, in rituals, and many others, so that they can be recognized and be able to ensure. In Nandi, called Shew, somewhere, Madam Speaker, in Nandi Hills. Madam Speaker, it is interesting that when you are gotten too old and you think death has forgotten you, when you are too old, you can't move, you can't eat, you no longer have teeth. We had a place in Nandi Hills called Shew. So when you think death has forgotten about you, you request to be taken and then be thrown over the cliff and then you die. Those are some of the places that you needed to protect for historical purposes. And we can, archaeological excavations, artistic and historical monuments, buildings. My only unnatural desires, my only problem I have in this country, Madam Speaker, have you noticed, everybody wants to bring down any old building, not knowing the value of that historical building. We need to ensure that we, like the archives. Archives, Madam Speaker, is a structural monument within Nairobi. I've seen there's I don't know whether it's a bad habit or something, but where Kenyans want to destroy something that belongs in the past, it can be part of our heritage. It can be part of cultural, historical site, Madam Speaker. So we need to preserve these buildings. And I want to go to Kakamega today, where Senator Boni Khalwale can go and see a house, how the Mulembe nation used to live in the 40s, in the 30s, even same to Kalenjin, to Kikuyus. This modernity, Madam Speaker, will make us lose our aspects of who we are. And I think, Madam Speaker, on the rare collections, we need also to ensure ethnological. I'm just rushing through because it's quite elaborate. You know, culture is elaborate, Madam Speaker. There is the issue of articles of furniture, musical instruments, like Nyatiti, Madam Speaker, the ones we use to sing. There is the blowing of horn. I remember you have been a Secretary General of many political successful parties. And coincidentally, most of the political parties that you have been Secretary General have gone ahead to form government. You remember URP, we had a horn as a sign of the symbol of the political party. So it is very important, Madam Speaker, as I second on the issue of management of culture, this ministry will develop, the gender ministry will develop national policy, promotion of diverse cultures, cultural heritage and cultural property, including protection, safeguarding, preservation, conservation, like even Kibalel Court auction, Madam Speaker. That Kibalel Court auction should be gazetted as something historical by the Kenya museums of Kenya. Should be able to do that, Madam Speaker. I know thank God we have Ministry of Gender, Social Services and Culture. Those are factored, Madam Speaker. Standards and regulation and cultural management of national, that is clause number 5, Madam Speaker, for members who are following. We need also to have a collection and study on how some of these issues can be done, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I agree, you and me as a senior lawyer, and I don't know when you'll be given to be the senior counsel. I don't know, you should by now be awarded to be the senior counsel. We need also to ensure that the supremacy of the Constitution, that if this bill does not excuse what we call repugnant to moral justice, like, for example, FGM, the female genital mutilation, Madam Speaker, this issue of female genital mutilation, FGM, cannot be part of such a culture because they are repugnant, they undermine the human rights, they undermine the rule of law. So I want to bring an exception, Madam Speaker, that this bill has captured is that it will not recognize cultural value or cultural practice that is repugnant to moral justice. And I've used example like FGM, female genital mutilation. Madam Speaker, the issue of export and import of inventory cultural property. Madam Speaker, you remember, as I conclude, there was a time that when Koitalel Samoei was killed, you remember the British took the Koitalel Samoei regalia. It was after when President Kibaki came into power 2003 that the regalia and the artifacts of the late Koitalel Samoei came back, that those were brought back. So we need anything, any artifacts, any regalia that was illegally taken by the British government to the United Kingdom be returned back. Why would you go to London to go and look for artifacts that belong to some of the communities? We need to bring those so that we can preserve in museum parts. And then finally, members, there is the issue of import and export of artifacts that belongs to our cultures. And I'm happy the law has ensured that this cannot be done or transfer cultural property without the approval of the government. That is another exemption I wanted committees to do. There is the issue of research. The Cabinet Secretary must develop a database to ensure that we research extensively on the cultural issues. There is the issue of, Madam Speaker, the issue of licensing. And finally, the offenses, penalties. I think I'm happy that it is 1 million if you violate some of these, like fraud, like exporting, like transfer, like selling a cultural property. Madam Speaker, stealing of cultural property and any activity, the fine will be 1 million or 5 years in prison or both, which is very important. Using images without consent. We have seen people writing even books without the consent of who they are. Madam Speaker, and even the licensing, research, doing the research. We have seen documentaries in NATO Geo, National Geographic Television. I normally see them running stories about Samburu without even telling us whether they have permission to do research and broadcast and film some of those issues. So this has captured, Madam Speaker, in a nutshell. This culture bill is very important. It's part of the Constitution. It is recognized in the role of the Constitution in Article 1 and also in the 4th schedule that cultural practices is a devolved function. And in as much as a National Assembly bill, we are ready to pass, Madam Speaker, so that we can create a legal framework. And I'm happy, Madam Speaker, I hope during a report writing by Labour, they should invite different groups of Wazee from every community so that they can share. And I'm happy Senator Mundegi is in the House. He might also share with us the issue of Embu. But, Madam Speaker, when you will give Senator Boni Khalwale, can we allow him to give us 1 to 2 minutes demonstration on what he was doing and how to celebrate the heroes, the death in their community? Possible the Secretariat can provide him with a torch, then he can be able to demonstrate and show us what needs to be done. With those many remarks, Madam Speaker, I beg to second this culture bill, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Senator Chiradigei. Honourable Senators, I propose the question that the Culture Bill, National Assembly Bills number 12 of 2024, be now read a second time. Honourable Senator, you can resume your seat. I am not sure we can grant that request of the torch being introduced into the Senate, as it could quickly turn into a weapon of serious destruction within Senate. So we might not have that. But let me now take this chance to give Senator Boni Khalwale to give his contribution on this bill.
Honorable Speaker, I take this to be a very big privilege that the records of Parliament, the Hansard, will show that when this bill was being enacted into law, I made a contribution because I believe in culture and I believe in the diversity of the cultures of the people of Kenya. And because of that belief, Madam Speaker, many times I disagree with fellow professional colleagues and people of letters on how they become experts of explaining the culture of other communities. You can see, Madam Speaker, for the 30 minutes that the Senator of Nandi has contributed, he has spent probably 1/3 of that time only for his culture. But the rest of the time, he has spent on the Kikuyu, he has spent on the Luhya, areas on which he is not an expert at all. You know, I cannot start by, first of all, by failing to make a personal disclosure. That as somebody who practices medicine and who understands circumcision of men, I take a lot of offense when I see people berate the Kuria, my cousins, the Kisi, my cousins, the Kikuyu, my distant cousins, and the Kamba, my distant cousins, for the practice of circumcision of their girls. We should be asking them, why and how do they do it? Why I take this offense is because, Honorable Speaker, if you came to Kakamega and told a Luhya man not to circumcise his son, he will tell you, take him. Then he is not my son. Have we really listened to the people who understand the culture of the circumcising communities of Kenya? Do we really know the prescribed method of that circumcision? We really must think us to define us. Imagine, Madam Speaker, you going to Bungoma and telling a Luhya father that his son is a homosexual and therefore he should be tolerant. You are saying this because of the many things you people call under this constitution of the rights of the right of choice, the rights of blah, 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 blah. Madam Speaker, we have to be firm as Africans so that even if it is easy for you to fundraise for defending something that offends your community, you should be called to order through this law. We would like the people who fundraise for advocacy of practices that are foreign to our communities to exercise that advocacy outside our communities. Like somebody who wants to advocate, or to make advocacy for, they call it LGBTQX, something. People who want to do those kind of primitive things, they should never be allowed to do it in the Luhya nation. It is completely foreign. Culture defines that it cannot be admissible. You cannot expect a boy who does bullfighting in Haega, who practices bullfighting in Malinya, who practices bullfighting in Isolio, who practices bullfighting in Mahira, in Malaba, who practices bullfighting in Indangalasia, in Butoto. You cannot manage to convince him that having never witnessed a bull climb a fellow bull, he can climb a fellow boy. But we force them because we bring them to the universities and we keep them, and the children have grown away from home. They are confused. The parents don't understand culture very well. They are under pressure of the so-called the modern life. They feel if they talk about it, they are not modern parents, and so on. We need to make proper legislation, and we shall be coming in the third stage of the third reading of this bill with firm amendments to speak to those things until this House will either firmly pronounce itself in assent or in defeating. Madam Speaker, I want to thank the Senator of Nandi for all the compliments he's given me. You never offended me in any way. You never offended the community in any way. It was positive. Let me tell you, our community has documented its culture through oral literature. And now we are attempting to put it on paper. We want to tell our children, this is how women give birth, and after giving birth, this is how they name their children. And giving birth Madam Speaker, my mother was a traditional birth attendant. Part of the reason why our profession went in that direction. And she was very clear. When a woman was now finding it difficult to give birth, she has to refer that woman for cesarean section in hospital. She used to ask the girl, who is the father of this child? And when the girl would refuse to say, she asked, what is the name of the father? The moment the girl says, the father's name is so and so, the birth canal opens and the child is born. Because our culture is against single parents. Our culture demands that every Luhya child must have a father. And it was at that spot, Madam Speaker, when children born within the family, offending our culture, which does not allow sex within related people who are related to each other, it would be fired out. And the girl would then say, then there would be a special ceremony for that child. Then the child will be accommodated. In adult life, there are certain privileges that child will not attend or will attend with special restrictions. Up to and including, Madam Speaker, if a girl was born within the extended family, when the girl got married, her hut, where she would live with her husband, a pot would be placed on the roof to signal to whoever cares to know that this is a girl who was born under these circumstances. So if you want this curse to follow you in future, marry any offspring from that home. I mean, a beautiful culture. And when I look back, Madam Speaker, and I see the problem children of the so-called single mothers are going through because of the lack of the father figure, I say our ancestors understood science. Madam Speaker, the communities which are slowly starting to allow the so-called single mother, Madam Speaker, I know it offends you like me, they are now having serious challenges.
Senator Boni, when you are referring to the single mothers, it would be fair to refer to them as single mothers, not the so-called.
Oh, the so-called, sorry, I withdraw.
Yes.
I withdraw that word.
Let's
single
protect
mothers,
them because they are with us in the community.
Yes,
so we use dignified language for them.
Why I was saying so-called, permit me, is because it was with reference to the Luhya community. It does not have single parents, either single father or single mother. You must say, I am...
What's your point of order, Senator Mudigi?
Madam Speaker, nataka nifahamishe Senator Karware, ni vizuri tuunge hii mbiru mkono kwa sababu itasaidia mtoto aidha ni wa single mother, ani wa single father, ama ni wazazi wote wawili, kwa sababu wakati huu juu ya ile mambo watoto wafunzwi, hata watoto wale wako na wazazi wawili ndio ambaya kuliko watoto wa single father and mother.
Senator Mudigi, that would have fallen better in a point of information. But you can proceed, Senator Boni Halwale.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Indeed, that's the information. And I know the information my distinguished senator from Embu is giving me is in the meaning of the Embu and Mbere community. It is not in the meaning of the Luhya community. We don't have those things amongst the Luhya at all. Madam Speaker, I want to support this bill very strongly because after birth, our culture then provides for how a child will then grow through teenage until they come of age enough to start their own families. They provide for how the boy will be circumcised, who will circumcise him, the circumstances, If he is circumcised in hospital, he is taken back home to be given an opportunity to receive the herbal treatment of children who are circumcised in hospital and missed the power of herbal medicine in a man becoming a man enough to be the head of a family. I want to support this bill very strongly because it is the same one that allows some of us to have more than one wife. I have seen certain communities, if you ask a guy, do you have a second wife? The guy says, no. And in practice, when I meet him, where we meet them, I see him with another lady and with a child. You ask me, he says, no, this is my kachungwa. In our place, we don't have kachungwas. We actually have the second and third wife. Madam Speaker, these people who are suffocating, they then create a lot of problems for nothing. Let me give you, for example, my late brother, may his soul rest in eternal peace, Henry Khalwal, had 2 wives. My immediate elder brother, Flight Captain Gaib Ashiono Khalwal, had 3 wives. And when they passed on, Madam Speaker, it is 10, 15 years later. Nobody has ever taken anybody to court because of their property. And both of them, Madam Speaker, did not leave a will. They did not even have an administrator. Culture just defined, because they are gone and I'm the only surviving uncle of these children, what I say passes for law. So I told this one, plot number so-and-so will be yours. This one will be yours. Wife number 1, you'll get the car. Wife number 2, you'll get the motorbike. And that's it. Because of the power of culture. This man, people waste in courts for 30 years because they are fighting over family land, can be very well sorted out through cultural practices. And I'm glad the Constitution is very clear. It says that cultural practices and provisions of the culture must be recognized when family property is being divided. This is something very positive, and because my brother, young Chimera from Kwale, would like to contribute, and I can see time has gone, I want to stop there and go and work on my amendments to make the bill even better. I support. Over to you, Chimera.
And thank you, Senator Boni. You do not have powers to assign Chimera an opportunity, Senator Chimera an opportunity to speak. But I now invite Senator Raphael Chimera to make his contribution to this bill.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Madam Speaker, I listened to my good friend, he's like a father to me, Senator Boni Halwale from Kakamega, the bullfighter himself. And I didn't know this habit, the character of him having more than one wife is in the family, so to speak. Now, I'm afraid I will not be sitting next to him. I might end up suffering from that habitual deficiency, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise in support of this bill, being Bill number 12 of 2024 from the National Assembly. And let me begin by first appreciating and commending the National Assembly, most particularly the mover and the sponsor of this bill at the National Assembly level, Madam Speaker. To that much Honorable Kimani Ichung'wah, to my brother, may history judge you fairly. This is a very important bill, and I am very proud, Madam Speaker, that I was alive and I was in the Senate when such a bill came to the floor of the House that basically seeks our support as legislators, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you look at a community known as the Maasai community, Madam Speaker, they are well known for their rich and very deep-rooted cultural practices, cultural beliefs, and traditions, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, every foreigner who seeks to come to this country, Madam Speaker, you'd realize the first port of call will be visiting the Maasai region. And I wish Senator Ledama Olekina was here from Narok, and my good friend Senator Ole Seki from Kajiado. I understand that senator is perhaps busy propagating some other form of politics out there. That's why he has no time to be here. But I know when he gets a chance, when the two of them get a chance, they will speak deeply about their culture and their community, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, any foreigner who gets to the country would want to visit the Maasai, not necessarily to see the Big Five under the Masai Mara Conservancy, but also to appreciate and interact with the Ma culture, Madam Speaker. So to speak, this culture has basically put the country on a global perspective, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, perhaps the move of this bill here, Senator Cheriot might say the Kalenjins as well have put this country on a global perspective because of their prowess in athletics. But this is culture. So he might not want to go along that with Madam Speaker. But Madam Speaker, what I'm saying is that this bill essentially seeks to speak to Article 11 of the Constitution, and more specifically, Sub-Article 3A, that speaks on the compensation and royalties owing and due to communities who practice various forms of culture, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, sometimes when I come from a very hectic schedule in Kwale, I take time to interact with my voters at night in Diani, in places such as Tanduri, Kokobongo, Manyata, and Terminal 2, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, at night, when you're in those places that I've just mentioned, Madam Speaker, you will see young men and women dressed in particular attires, more specifically in the Maasai attire at night, purposely because Diani is a beach destination, Madam Speaker, just to attract the attention of the foreigners who are there. And when you further continue engaging with these young men and women who are dressed at night as Maasais, you would be shocked to find they are not even Maasais, Madam Speaker. Most of them are usually people from Murima, Madam Speaker. That speaks to the need to ensure that certain cultural beliefs have been placed in a way that they can receive commercial earnings, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, if you visit the great county of Kwale, where I come from, Madam Speaker, there's a small tribe in a place called Kilibasi. They're called the Wata community, Madam Speaker. This is a community that is practicing very rich cultural traditions. They have very deep cultural dances. They have a lot of artifacts that speak to their culture, Madam Speaker. A lot of foreigners nowadays find their way to Kilibasi just to go and get to know this particular community and understand and appreciate the cultural practice that they do practice in Kinango, Madam Speaker. If you listen carefully to the Digo community in Kwale County that have for many years danced to Zigidigi, Mdundiko, and Sengenya dance, Madam Speaker, as well as the Duruma community with their Gozi dance from Vigurungani, Puma Ward in Kinango constituency, Madam Speaker, you realize there is now need to have and making sure that all these communities are able to benefit from these packages, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I am happy now for the first time we are working towards making sure there is a proper legal framework within which communities that practice their culture, that believe in their culture, that are out there showcasing their culture, Madam Speaker, are able to benefit in terms of receiving compensation and royalties from what they do on a daily-to-daily basis as part of promoting their culture. And I'm happy that we are not just speaking about policy and ministry directives, but a legal framework within which these communities are able to benefit from the practice of their culture, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, with those very many and few remarks, Madam Speaker, I wish to strongly support this bill, and I wish to urge my colleagues to equally weigh in and support this particular bill. And hopefully it becomes law so that our community are able to access this compensation and this material benefit so that people can, for the first time, enjoy their true identity and their true cultural heritage in this country. I thank you, Madam Speaker.
Senator Dan Manzo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm very pleased to contribute on this very, very important bill. In fact, I've waited for it for a long time. And the culture is actually in the Constitution under Article 11. And I think there's a misprint. They have talked of 11.3a, but it should be 11.2a. And this is to promote all forms of national and cultural expression through literature, the arts, tradition, celebrations, science, communication, information, mass media, publications, libraries, and other cultural heritage. Madam Speaker, the cultural heritage of any nation is very important. When we went for the Olympics in China in 2008, the president of China then addressed all foreigners in Chinese. And you are asked to get somebody who is near you to interpret for you if you didn't follow the president's speech. And you notice that from China to Arabia, to Israel, to Europe, to America, there are different cultures everywhere. But there are communities who are very cultural. Like if you go to South Africa, you find the Zulu are very cultural and have never abandoned their culture. And the Swahili saying goes, Mwachamila ni mtumwa. And therefore, this is very important. I come from the Kamba community, and they have Kamba customary law. They have, almost every community have ways of dealing with many things. They have ways of dealing with marriage. There are cultural activities associated to it and law associated to marriage. Divorce, marriage and divorce. And divorce in Kamba culture, you ordinarily, when you go to marry, you go with the 3 goats, one male, two male and 1 female. So that day you slaughter the male, so you leave a male and a female. And when you are asked in Kamba culture, when you want to divorce, the sort of goat you are supposed to return is impossible to find. Meaning, in the Kamba culture, marriage is presumed to be permanent. And you'll take such trouble looking for this particular goat, maybe that you may give up at some point and make up with an estranged wife and the in-laws. Because even marriage is communal. It's like you belong to that particular clan you've been married to, and the culture protects you. And when you look at that, Madam Speaker, when you're asked to look for a black goat with a white patch at the stomach, you may look for it for many years. And that's a culture which protects that community. There are many ways this culture, many artifacts with the Kamba culture, the way they did their guards, the way they did their traditional dances, there's so many things. And the protection of the property in a culture is important. The Maasai culture is most amazing. It's people feed on meat. A few days ago, we went to Kamwaro's home to make sure that to visit him, on his day of inauguration as a politician. And, Maasais eat meat, but the young men who came to dance there, they were not fat at all, because their culture allows them to take meat, but they have other things they boil. Maasais interact with the snakes as much as the Kamba do. But when Maasais get a snake bite, they have a way of treating it, which is amazing. Hardly does any Maasai person die of a snake bite. And this cultural thing has been prevented and has been kept alive and does exist. And therefore, this act is very important. And just as the Honorable Arwale has said, really, I would have loved to contribute full time, but I can see my colleagues want it differently. But I think it is important on this particular one, because this is a law since 2013, should have been enacted a long time ago. And there are many cultures in the world. When you go to West Africa, you find a different culture. There were cultural practices. There was cultural religion. There were many, practices which kept the society together, kept the morals, together of many African communities. And in fact, when Congo was colonized, where most of my community originated from the Congo forest, and when you go to Congo, you find the actually part of Kamba community was left there. There are some who did not travel with the rest, and there are many languages in the Congo forest. In fact, also the Kikuyu community came from there. And you find that when the colonialists came to Congo, they said, King Leopold II said that the Africans were very honest. In African culture, you never stole because you feared what will follow you if you stole. The evil spirits and things like that and the misfortunes, and you will never rest till you return what you have stolen. In fact, hardly does a Mukamba steal your thing because they don't know what treatment has been given to those things. And the moment you take them, the gods follow you and you will never rest. And therefore, people don't steal. And the Congo, King Leopold II described the community that they are very honest. And therefore, as part of colonization, they came up with a strategy to corrupt.
What's your point of order, Senator John Derita?
Bispika, nangoja ni kusikia kwa sababu nimesikia akisema kuhusu mbuzi ambao wameibiwa na vile ambavyo angerudishwa. Ningetaka kujua kwa sababu kuna kisiwa ya kwamba kuna jambo huwa nasikia kutoka kwa Kamba, pengine ataweza kutuelezea mambo ya kuhusu Kamote na Kibeti Dikaeka. Sijui inamaanisha nini. Pengine
a point of
information. Point of clarification, Madam Chair.
Well, let me say that the Kamba culture had its own way of dealing with the evil people. They had a way of dealing with somebody. If you had killed somebody, you would be excommunicated. And that's very common in many African cultures. And you may never come back, actually, or sit with serious men. And some of these cultures, you find them when you read things fall apart. When it comes to, there are quite many practices which are feared. Like, you never stole somebody's wife, because there is a likelihood of getting stuck and till the owner comes. And I've never verified that, but I have heard it has happened even in modern times. And you've got to pay a lot of money to be unlocked. So there were those many cultures. I don't know whether that's what you commonly call a kamuti or something. The kamuti thing is a way of prevention. It's something which is feared, that somebody has protected their things. They protect their wives, they protect their animals, they protect anything you take from that home. And in fact, they will call somebody who will come and make a threat and say, we are giving you 2 days to return what you have stolen, otherwise you will start eating grass. And it has happened, people who have started eating grass. Then I'll elaborate next time.
Senator Manzo, you'll have a balance of 11 minutes when we resume this debate, this very interesting debate on the culture. Honorable Senators, it is now 6:30 p.m., time to adjourn the Senate. The Senate therefore stands adjourned until tomorrow, Thursday, 26 February 2026 at 2:30 p.m. Thank you.
Sell to millions of people online with Shopify's social media and marketplace integration. You can sell your products directly on social channels and reach millions more shoppers by connecting your store to Amazon, eBay, and more. Head over to Shopify and start your free trial today.
Hey, how's that New Year's resolution going? What are you talking about? You know, that YouTube channel you say you're gonna start? Well, yeah, I'd like to, but editing's really hard and coming up with a thumbnail stresses me out and thinking of content ideas. I don't do any of that. I use TubeBuddy. What? TubeBuddy. It does everything for you. SEO optimization, helps you with your thumbnail, video topic planner. Well, I have ideas. Yeah, but TubeBuddy gives you niche insights, which means that they know which topics actually get views. And get this, TubeBuddy's related video manager allows me to link my videos across all of my shorts instantly. Instantly! TubeBuddy has everything. It helps creators like you start your YouTube channel and stay consistent so you can actually follow through on your New Year's resolution. Wow, this is so awesome. I had no idea TubeBuddy existed. I'm gonna go try it today.
Isaac Yebet is not happy with Silvana Sosoro because amechelewa. But he's here. And we are also not happy with Silvana Sosoro because amechelewa. Silvana, good morning.
Good morning. Apologies first. You know, it's raining.
Yes. Apologize properly to the fixers who are watching. And
that is true. I mean, really, it wasn't intentional. The rain was too much this morning. I actually left home the same time I usually leave home and arrive in time at around 7 a.m. in the morning. But this time around it was different. There was a heavy traffic along Kiambu Road and Mudaiga. I hear some small accident or something.
Right.
Yeah. In fact, I've had to use Andudhi to carry her.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Look at my shoe. Look at my shoe.
Umenyeshewa?
Yeah, seriously.
Nikubaya.
Nikubaya huko nje. So apologies.
All right. We accept that apology. Hope Isaac ataichukua. Si shingo upande ataichukua fully. But thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Now we had invited you so we talk about numbers, and numbers is a big conversation. Because Silvana Sosoro, you are an MP from Gusii Land. Nasikia Gusii Land ground imeenda. Wewe uko Kenya Kwanza, ground imeenda. Matiang'i is there this weekend. And many of the leaders in Gusii are aligning themselves with Fred Matiang'i and the United Opposition. Starting of the leaders, starting with the senators for Kisii, the senator for Nyamira. A number of members of parliament in Kisii, a member of parliament in Nyamira. There are some MCAs in Kisii, some MCAs in Nyamira,
That's a lie. Number one, Gusii is a very democratic place. Like, Gusii as a nation, as a people, we are very democratic. Looking at our voting patterns, except, say, for the 2002, when Nyachai vied for presidency, Gusii people have always been democratic. And for the record, we have all parties represented in Gusii in terms of the voting. When people vote and everything, you'll always get UDA, you'll get ODM, you'll get all those kind of things. And talking of numbers, by the way, like you said, all the leaders are aligned to Fred Matiang'i. That's a lie. In fact, in Kisii County, starting even from the MCAs, Kisii County has got about 69 MCAs. 45 elected because we've got 45 votes, and about 65 20 nominated. Fred Matiang'i has about 5 MCAs from Kisii County. All the rest are in the broad-based government. And I mean, I'll challenge him to mention the other if he has all the 65. Looking at the members of parliament, Kisii County has got 9 constituencies. Fred Matiang'i has got Anthony Kibagendi and Barongo. Those are only 2 MPs from Kisii out of 9. There are, of course, others, like 2 who are ish. They are neither here nor there. And the rest are with William Ruto. During the day and at night, I mean, openly. In Nyamira County, it's even worse, by the way. Nyamoko, Nyamira has got 4 constituencies. And the president has 2. He's got, the governor is ish. The senator is with Fred. And all the MCAs, it's actually worse. All the MCAs, and I mean all. I think there's one. I think he has one. All the, because he has about, Nyamira has got about 24 MCAs, elected and nominated. And Fred has about 1 or 2, exactly, about 95% or so. But all said and done, you know, it's his democratic right to declare interest to run the seat. I mean, there is nothing wrong, like having leaders or anything, or not having leaders. That shouldn't be the discussion. But what does he have to offer to the people? We've not had. I am yet to hear what Fred has to offer to the people.
Leadership.
All I hear is, you know, we have to fix this nation. I used to be in charge of education.
Fixing the nation, by the way,
where?
It's a very good campaign
What do you
message.
fix? What are you fixing?
The nation.
Which nation? Like where? Tell us what you're fixing.
If you use education, he likes to use that as the, you know.
I mean, be practical. Fix where? Because he brought the CBC and he left government having not employed teachers to take charge of that CBC. By the way, the Kenyan people should know this, and it's very practical. When you do the tabulation of all the teachers that are in Kenya, there are about 350,000 teachers who are in class today. Out of the 350,000 teachers who've ever been employed from 1963, when we got independence, to now, 2026, 100,000 teachers have been recruited under William Ruto regime. So in other words, cumulatively, under Moi, under Kibaki, under Uhuru, in all those regimes, in Moi's 24 years, in Kibaki's 10 years, in Uhuru's 10 years, they only employed 250,000 teachers, and that has always been the sum.
Silvanus, don't amplify the numbers. Eh?
No. You know these things are scientific, and we need to be very practical.
Not scientific; they're just factual.
Exactly. Okay. Good. You've even put it right. They are factual.
So the number of teachers that have been employed in the last 2.5 years or 3 years is not 100,000.
How many are they?
Right?
How many are they?
It was 25,000. It was to be 75,000.
And then?
Right? It was to be.
We started first. No. You're wrong. We started with 75,000, and then last year December we added 25,000. In fact, this year we'll add another 50,000 for the record. Fine. Let's even go with your number. You say 75,000. Fine. Let's go with your number. In a single regime, 3 years post-election, just within 3 years, a government has been able to employ 75,000 teachers. Now, when Matiang'i talks about fixing the nation, how many teachers did he employ in 10 years as under Jubilee? I mean, what are you fixing? You brought this CBC, you didn't fix it. I even heard him yesterday, the other day, talking about, you know,
in capitation funding, for example.
There has never been reduction of capitation. There has always, what we've always faced, whether under Uhuru and now,
yes, is the full amount not
delay of disbursement
and no
revision.
No, it is delay.
Here's the thing. This is under all regimes. It's 22,000 promised, 16, 17, 18,000.
Under what?
Like under all regimes.
Exactly.
And that's why I'm being fair.
Yeah.
However, there was the idea of now reducing the capitation from the 22 to the 18. That was under William Ruto. That is not under anyone else. 22,000 to 18. That's under an already struggling education system. This is not, by the way, to defend Fred Matiang'i's time as Minister for Education.
You know, you've said
just
first.
To also say that there are clear issues with education. So if someone says they're fixing, they do have grounds to fix.
What do they fix? Like the 3,000 difference or what? Like you've said, under all the regimes, there was.
Sorry, let's go into university. Higher funding. Right? The higher funding model has completely disoriented how we do higher education in Kenya.
You know,
for a lot of young people, they are able to not either afford, whether it's because they have been placed in the wrong, not band even, whatever you want to call it.
Band.
So band, they are unable to afford their school fees for university, or they are unable to pursue the courses that they did want to pursue because they're just out of reach. I did want to pursue medicine. It's incredibly expensive, right? This idea of, government funds this part, I fund this part, has always been the case, but the way it's being done now is just unsustainable. You look again at ghost funding, ghost schools. I'm not saying it's a new problem that it came in William Ruto's regime, but it is still a problem. We're looking at 11 billion shillings the other week, and so on and so forth. It's ghost schools, ghost learners, ghost everything. I'm not saying they are unique, but I am saying if someone comes in and says, I want to fix the education sector, they have grounds.
I hope that one day you'll actually invite him to also help us fix the Ruaraka land saga.
We've asked him
There was also that equation of fixing the land, where you buy land that belongs to the public, and you pay a lot of money under his regime or under, his watch. But let me get to your point. You know what people hate in this country is actually change. It is under the previous regimes that Egerton University was actually closing down. Moi University was going under the previous regimes. You know why? Because of really maintaining the status quo in terms of the funding and all those things that you're talking about. We don't want change. Everybody goes to the campaign and says, elect me, I'll bring up change. I'll raise this, I'll change the pattern of doing things. And immediately people actualize the change they promised. We again start saying, you need to go back to where we were. Why are you doing this? I mean, really, I have just been watching the debate that you had here with Abby. And everybody, actually, she was talking about change. But immediately you give them an opportunity and they try to fix things and change things, as to change the normalcy of doing things. You'll again start saying, we were used to this. Let me be very practical, especially on the university funding model. Can you imagine that a parent is able to take a student to an academy, for example, and where they pay about 50,000 shillings per term. This child goes straight to some very good school, say Alliance or even Riara School, where they pay 70,000 per year. But when they are called to a university, say University of Nairobi, they say, hey, I'm only able to raise this amount of money, 16,000 shillings, let the government pay for this amount of money. Like, really, are we talking about change?
Sylvanas, that's incredibly unfair because we've sat down with those students, and again, a lot of these things can come from a good place. There are a few people who did come from privileged households and were essentially getting...
And that is why we have bans.
No, let me finish. There are a few people who did come from private schools or even schools where they were paying a lot in fees, and they did end up in higher education, and it was straining the system. That's fine. But the way the bans have been done has disadvantaged the good 80-90% of students who are essentially unable to afford higher education. They're being asked to pay a lot more than they're able to. So it's either they start delaying and they're like, you know what, I'll defer this year, I'll come back next year. Or they change courses. They say engineering, 6 years, my parents cannot hack. Medicine, 6 years at 120,000, my parents cannot hack. Let me go for something else. It's deferred dreams, it's deferred education for so many young people. So yeah, there were people who could have essentially afforded, in quote unquote, higher education. But those are a very small minority. So to use that like now as a blanket excuse
but that's
for the ban